Welcome back to Turf Talk, Breeders' Cup Clocker Edition. Ed DeRosa alongside Gary Young, fresh from Los Angeles. And Gary, Dodgers won the World Series.
They did? I'm not fresh, and the Dodgers didn't win the World Series, but it's good to be here.
Well, speaking of fresh, I know we're looking for some fresh horse flesh out on the racetrack. You got your first look of horses at Churchill Downs. Of course, you're intimately aware with the Southern California horses. Just from a clocker perspective, what's the first thing you do to get your bearings when you travel to events like this?
Try to get on Eastern time, and then you come out here and, as you say, I'm pretty familiar with the California horses. You just want to see that they're moving like they do on a daily basis out there, and you want to familiarize yourself with, I mean, the Eastern horses, I've seen a lot of them run on television, but you want to just see how they look, and many of the Euros I haven't seen at all.
Of course.
Horse that was just out there, a horse named East, looked really good, looked like he traveled really well for the, I guess it's 2 for 2, so that horse might be worth following this weekend, but the Euros I'm totally in the dark on for quite a bit, and so I definitely want to get a good look at them.
All right, well, I know two of the bigger Euro names were on the track. We'll get to them in a bit, but some actual brass tack stuff is we did have an official published workout this morning in Catholic Boy, Travers Stakes winner. Admittedly, I'm coming into the week with a bias. I'm not a huge fan, but of course you have to take information as it comes and be adaptable in this game. So eager to hear what you thought of the Travers winner this morning.
Looked okay. I mean, he didn't do anything serious. Most people get their works done 7 or 8 days out these days. So if they're gonna, the modern day horse training, if you do something, 5 days out, you're not gonna do a whole lot. He was moving okay. It's a big question mark as to outside of Justify how this year's 3-year-old crop is going to prove themselves against older horses.
You read my mind. Yeah, and Catholic Boy, people thought, well, maybe he can salvage the crop, whatever that means. He certainly wasn't ready for prime time in the spring. His dirt tries were deemed not good enough to run in the Derby, which of course Justify won en route to the Triple Crown. He has come on stronger with the dual grade 1s on turf and dirt. I just think the older horses, save McKinsey maybe, who I'm interested to hear what you think, as you know him from out west, it just seems the older horses are better than the horses who face Justify this year.
It is, and to make the hill even a little bit more steep for Catholic Boy, he's coming off a little sickness, which I'm always leery a horse's first race back after a sickness sometimes isn't their top effort, but Jonathan Thomas is a terrific trainer. He's done very well so far. He learned his lessons from Mr. Pletcher well, and we'll see. I mean, it's to come off of a Travers layoff and go first time out against Olders in the Breeders' Cup, that's a hell of a hill to climb.
Absolutely, sure is. And American Pharaoh did it, but talking about a Triple Crown winner versus not. So,
yes.
Yeah, it can happen, and 3-year-olds have won. But yeah, this year I agree with you. The hill does seem pretty steep, and I am interested throughout. We have Thunder, Snow, and Mendelssohn, who I know you would have seen here on the Derby Trail in the past 2 years. So interested to get your takes on them as the week developed. But today we did have Euros on the track, including Arc winner Enable. What do you make of the so-called Arc Turf jinx that no horse who's won arguably the top turf race in the world has been able to complete the double in the same year?
It's funny because there have been horses come out of the Arc to win the Breeders' Cup turf, but there's never been a winner of the Arc come out of that. No matter how big the Breeders' Cup has become, and let's face it, it is huge. It's like our end of the year championship day.
Question.
For people in Europe, the Arc is still the race. I mean, it's like the Derby is still the race in America. That's what the Arc is to Europe. They're geared to win that race, and then to come with a trip all the way across the globe and expect to be geared up for that kind of an effort again, which it usually takes to win the Breeders' Cup turf. It's expecting a lot. I mean, it's going to happen someday, and I mean, Enable obviously, with Mr. Gosden training him, a good friend of mine from California when he was out there. He's a wonderful trainer. It's going to be interesting. Her Arc win was not an easy win. I mean, she had to reach down, and it was a gut puller. So it'll be very interesting to see if she's up to it again.
Yeah. Any clues today, or imagine they didn't do much out of
Just
quarantine.
jogged her up in the chute.
Okay.
She just jogged up in the chute up there. I'm sure John will do a little bit more with her tomorrow. Yoshida's work was okay today. I mean, it was just a half and 49 and 3, but it was. He looked okay. I mean, he's coming off a powerful Woodward win. What kind of Woodward that was is still open for debate, but his work was good today, and his flesh looked good. He was shining.
Yeah, and I have seen some chatter about some next out winners of the Woodward, and my snarky response back is none of them have beat Accelerate next out. It's one thing to come out of the Woodward and win a grade 3.
Yes.
But nevertheless, he is beating next out winners, and that's worth noting. And plenty of turf form in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic, which is interesting. Catholic Boy and Mendelssohn coming out of that Breeders' Cup juvenile turf last year. Wuheida, really a hodgepodge, which I guess makes a little sense since there's no real standout, seemingly, unless you're a big Accelerate fan.
Accelerate, West Coast, and Mackenzie are a strong representation from California. Accelerate, for a horse that's normally an average workhorse, has been working better than he usually has. This is his chance to kind of prove himself. There's a lot of doubters out there with Accelerate,
Sure.
saying,
and his trainer.
John's a good trainer. His record in the Breeders' Cups is not.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not him.
No, yes,
yeah.
yeah, I know, yeah, exactly. It's going to be really interesting because it's very rare in today's world that horse peaks at age 5 like Accelerate has. And he was okay at 3 and 4, but
Right.
this year, how much of it is like him improving, and how much of it is maybe just running against
Attrition.
Yeah. Not the greatest group. West Coast kind of took some time off after the Dubai race, and he came back and ran a good race in the Awesome Again to run second to Accelerate, and has a right to move forward. Mackenzie's worked very well in California. It's a heck of a spot to take on older horses for the first time,
Right.
but
Second off the bench.
yeah. It's a very open race, and there's about 7 horses in there. I couldn't fault anyone for betting them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll definitely talk more on that as the week progresses and we see more of them on the track, and looking forward to getting all your thoughts. As we talked about on the phone coming in here, we're looking for that Wuheida.
We're looking for Wuheida.
Yeah, we're looking for Wuheida from last year.
We need a 15-to-1 shot
Absolutely,
to air like
we do.
that. We do.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll find it this week, Gary. Looking forward to talking with you, and let's have a great Breeders' Cup.
Good to be here, Ed.